Jenn Sterger recently opened up in an emotional and deeply personal conversation about the aftermath of the Favre sexting scandal, sharing how the experience left her feeling dehumanized and voiceless. Years after the controversy first made headlines, Sterger continues to process the toll it took on her career, mental health, and self-worth. The scandal dates back to 2010, when Sterger was working as a game day host for the New York Jets. At the time, allegations surfaced that Favre, then the quarterback for the Jets, had sent her inappropriate messages and explicit photos. The story quickly snowballed in the media, turning Sterger into a household name, but not in a way she ever wanted. Instead of being recognized for her work, she became the center of a scandal she never asked to be part of. In a new interview, Sterger reflected on how the media and public treated her during the fallout. She broke down as she explained how she felt stripped of her identity and agency. "I was never treated like a person," she said. "I was a headline.
I was a punchline.
People talked about me like I was an object." Her voice trembled as she described the immense pressure she felt to stay silent at the time, fearing the loss of her career and reputation if she dared to speak out. One of the most painful aspects of the experience, according to Sterger, was the lack of empathy she received. While Favre continued his football career relatively unscathed, she was left to face public judgment and shaming. She emphasized that she never wanted the story to go public. In fact, she tried to keep things quiet, hoping to avoid a media frenzy. But once the story leaked, she became a target for online abuse, misogyny, and ridicule. Sterger also discussed how the incident affected her career. She had been steadily building a name for herself in sports media, but after the scandal, job opportunities dried up. She described how producers and executives saw her as damaged goods, someone too controversial to hire. "I was just trying to do my job," she said, but the narrative changed everything. In the interview, she highlighted how difficult it was to find support in the aftermath. "Back then, there was no real conversation about women in sports dealing with harassment," she said. "I felt completely alone." She noted that the #MeToo movement, which came years later, helped her feel validated and seen, but the pain of those earlier experiences still lingers. Sterger is now using her platform to advocate for women facing similar situations. She hopes that by sharing her story, others will feel empowered to speak out and demand respect. "I don't want anyone else to feel what I felt," she said. To be silenced, blamed, and erased. As for Favre, she didn't focus much on him directly in the interview. Her story wasn't about rehashing the scandal, it was about reclaiming her voice. She made it clear that her fight is about accountability, respect, and the right to be treated as a human being. Sterger's candid reflections serve as a sobering reminder of how far society still has to go in supporting victims of harassment, and how important it is to listen when they finally speak.